Now at 6 on WKYT this morning, Trinity Gay will be laid to rest today by family and friends. We'll tell you all the details you need to know if you would like to pay your respects. A Laurel County man is behind bars after police say he choked his wife, then tried to kill his father-in-law. And a local food pantry needs your help filling their empty shelves. That's all coming up on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. I'm Michelle Chamberlain. Thanks so much for joining us on this Saturday, October 22nd. So it's been a bit gloomy the past couple of days, but not today. However, it is chilly. Meteorologist Mike Linden is here this morning with a look at your Saturday forecast. Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle. It is most definitely chilly outside as we get our Saturday started. The good news is, though, as we look at the Defender Radar Network, there's not much else going on. There are some clouds out there, but no rain, nothing to get us started early this morning. It's just the cold temperatures, which most spots are back into the mid to low 40s. And we're actually lucky for those clouds, because if it weren't for those thicker clouds hanging around a little bit longer last night and into this morning, well, we could be dealing with some even cooler temperatures. Right now, Williamsburg, one of the coolest spots out there, 39 degrees. Otherwise, most of the state settled into the mid to low 40s, which is about 10 or so degrees off from where we were at this time yesterday. So a big drop in temperatures, enough so that you'll probably want to grab a jacket and a hat to keep yourself warm if you plan on heading outside early this morning. And as far as temperatures go, those are going to stick around the cool mark as we work our way through the next few days. But coming up, I'll take you into the work week ahead and show you when those temperatures begin to balance out.
Thank you, Mike. Trinity was shot and killed last Sunday morning at the cookout on South Broadway here in Lexington. Today, Trinity Gay's funeral. WKYT's Mike Byer is live in Nicholasville at Southland Christian Church with all the details. Good morning, Mike.
Michelle, I'm here at Southland Christian Church in Nicholasville, where later today friends and family will say their final goodbye to Trinity Gay. Now, a vigil was held earlier this week where hundreds gathered to honor the life of Trinity. Even more are expected today in Nicholasville. Trinity was tragically shot and killed last Sunday morning after two cars pulled up to the cookout on South Broadway and started shooting at each other. Trinity, who was just 15 years old, was caught in the crossfire. Her dad, Olympic sprinter Tyson Gay, says he just wants the violence to stop.
It doesn't stop here, it doesn't stop after the balloons. I appreciate all the support, but I need you guys to keep it going. I don't want to read in the paper next week another senseless killing. It has to stop.
Now, here are the details about this morning's funeral. Visitations start at 9 a.m. here at Southland Christian Church in Nicholasville. It will run for 3 hours, with the funeral following immediately afternoon. Now, if you're not familiar with the church, it is right here off Harrisburg Road in Nicholasville, right next to Southland Christian School, and Trinity will be buried a couple hours away in Russellville. Live in Nicholasville, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Thank you, Mike. A Laurel County man is behind bars after police say he tried to kill his father-in-law. Shane Anders is being charged with attempted murder. Police say a home care nurse found Anders' father-in-law with an oxygen cord wrapped around his neck. Police say Anders choked his wife the night before, then found the father-in-law the next morning. Police say they found him just in time.
They found an oxygen cord wrapped around her dad, around his neck. It was so tight they had to take a pair of scissors and cut the cord off to save his life.
Now, police tell us both Shane and his wife Crystal were high on meth when they were arrested. The couple's 10-month-old child was inside the entire time of the incident. That child is now with a family member. Police say the father-in-law is expected to survive. A man wanted in connection to a home invasion in Lexington is now in custody. Police say 20-year-old Dimitron Boaz turned himself in. He is charged with robbery. Police say multiple people forced their way into a home on Red Mile Road Thursday night as part of a drug-related robbery. Now, during that robbery, police say a 19-year-old suspect and a 22-year-old who was trying to protect a friend were both shot. Police say the 19-year-old also faces a robbery charge. New this morning, we now know the name of a person who died in a motorcycle crash in Garrett County. The Garrett County coroner confirms the victim is 34-year-old Christopher Hensley of Mount Sterling. The crash happened around 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon on Highway 52 near Ledford Lane, just west of Lancaster. The coroner says Hensley's motorcycle collided with a truck. Now, state police are still investigating what happened in the crash. Family members of a former Kentucky Senator Jim Bunning say he's recovering from a stroke. They say the 84-year-old suffered the stroke Tuesday at his home in northern Kentucky. They say he's now out of intensive care and is in transitional care as he continues to recover. Bunning served 6 terms in the U.S. House and 2 in the U.S. Senate as a Republican. He's also a former Major League Baseball pitcher. New this morning, former Kentucky Governor Steve Beshear could have a new job after Election Day. According to Bloomberg Politics, he's on a list of people Hillary Clinton will be considering for U.S. Agriculture Secretary if she's elected president. Beshear and his wife Jane own a horse farm in Clark County. The Democrat was Kentucky governor from 2007 until last year. The presidential election is just 17 days away, and Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are campaigning in key states. Mark Albert has the latest on campaign 2016.
Donald Trump came out swinging in a campaign stop in North Carolina. This time he took his best shot at President Obama and the First Lady.
They're losers. They're babies. We have a president, all he wants to do is campaign. His wife, all she wants to do is campaign. And I see how much his wife likes Hillary.
Michelle Obama has been Hillary Clinton's best weapon on the campaign trail, and she has taken Trump to task for his comments about women. Campaigning in Pennsylvania, Vice President Joe Biden attacked Trump for bragging that he could have his way with women because he was famous.
What a disgusting assertion for anyone to make. No, I wish you were in high school. I could take him behind the gym. That's what I wish.
With Trump behind in most national polls, the businessman continues to say he might not accept the outcome of the election.
The system is rigged, and I've been saying it for a long time.
Campaigning in Ohio, where the race is a dead heat, Clinton said Trump is a threat to democracy.
The peaceful transition of power is one of the things that sets us apart. It's how we hold our country together, no matter who's in charge.
Both candidates will be on the campaign trail this weekend, crisscrossing states that will be key to deciding the election. Mark Albert for CBS News, the White House.
A Kentucky charity is in need of donations to help feed families in Georgetown. The Amen House says food shelves are emptier than normal right now. The food pantry feeds nearly 100 families a week, and volunteers say this time of year is when they need the most donations. One single mother says she needs the food the Amen House provides.
I have nothing at all, and they were like, well, here, we'll help you. And they gave me just a cart full of food. I mean, it was way more than that, like a cart full of food, because they knew that I needed help.
There are food barrels at the Georgetown Kroger designated for the Amen House. You can also bring donations right to the food pantry on East Main Street in Georgetown. For a list of days and hours, just head over to our website, WKYT.com. And now let's take a look at what's happening today here in Central Kentucky. Over at Whitaker Bank Ballpark in Lexington, you can check out Moving Day Kentucky. The event is a 5K walk dedicated to providing awareness about Parkinson's disease. Registration starts at 9, with the walk starting at 10:45. There is also a shorter 1-mile option if the 5K is too long for you. The event is absolutely free. And over in Richmond is the Free Little Goblins Run for Kids 10 and Under at 8:30. Now that race will be followed by the historic Haunt 5 and 10K races starting at 9 o'clock. All money from the races will go towards the Daniel Ellis Memorial Foundation, Madison Central Cross Country, and Health Now Clinic. Your time now is 6:08 on this Saturday morning. WKYT This Morning is just getting started. An Anderson County High School football player says he's just lucky to be able to play the game he loves. We'll tell you his amazing story in about 10 minutes. And we'll show you a chimpanzee that knows how to light her own cigarette. That's coming up after Mike's forecast.
Hard to tell just by looking at it, but it is cold outside as we get our Saturday started. Coming up, I'll take you through the weekend and show you what you'll need to bring before you leave the house for the day.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Mike Linden.
About a week ago, we had temperatures in the mid-70s, sunny skies. It felt a lot like the it felt a lot like the late summer, but now as we are really into the thick of things here in the middle of fall, it is most definitely feeling like fall. We look at the Defender Radar Network right now, some clouds still out there, and if it weren't for those clouds, we really would have been a lot colder than what thermometers indicate right now. But we look at the big picture here, in a cold front that brought us the overcast skies yesterday, all of the rainfall as well, that has pushed off to the east of us, and now behind we are left with cooler air and clearing conditions. Drier conditions too, so if you plan on being outside today, whether it be for any events you have going on or for the football game later this evening at 7:30, we're not looking at the real threat of rainfall. In fact, cloud cover should really begin to diminish too, and that's a good reason why temperatures this morning starting out in the mid to low 40s. How about Williamsburg? 39 degrees as we get our morning going. Montgomery County 41, that's another one that jumps out to us. In Laurel County, London also at 41 degrees as well. Doesn't get much warmer into the afternoon either. We only get back into the mid to high 50s today for daytime highs, which are about 10 degrees off from where we should be normally this time of year. This is most definitely a cool shot of some cold air. Now, as far as the football forecast goes, if you're heading out to Commonwealth this evening, tailgate time right around 5:30, 57 or so degrees. That's your high for the day. That's not bad. It's when we get into kickoff and into the second half of the game where things really cool down. So if you're heading to the stadium tonight, bring a coat with you, a hat as well. And if you're the type that gets cold easily, bring some gloves too. You can always just toss them in your pockets if you don't need them. It's certainly better to have them than not if you're going to be at the stadium for the game this evening. Now, as we get into your Sunday, that looks like the best day of the next few. Sunny skies, wonderful temperatures getting back to normal in the mid-60s. But it's as we get into Monday that a cold front to the northwest begins to approach. And it's for that reason that we get in on some gusty winds. Wind speeds getting up near about 20 to 25 miles per hour as we head into Sunday evening. Look at this. Those totals really jump up for you. Above 30 miles per hour into late Sunday evening and into Monday. But this front is pretty weak. Not really bringing us much of anything. But temperatures do begin to recover back into the mid-60s by that point. So the next few days, as far as any rain, storms go, not really going to be dealing with much of that. It's just this wind threat Sunday into Monday, and to even call it a threat isn't really very much. There'll just be some strong gusty winds when most of us are asleep. Heading into the upcoming work week, most of it looks really nice. Temperatures right around normal in the mid-60s for this time of year. But the clouds do begin to build out ahead of a chance for some stormy weather there on Thursday. But overall, it looks like a great weekend, Michelle, to spend some time outside. You'll just need to wear the appropriate clothing if you plan on
I
doing
can't
so.
believe we're thinking about gloves already.
Well, especially if you're going to a football game, right? I mean, if you can't leave the stadium, so you need something to keep yourself warm. I know hand warmers are certainly getting popular this time of year, too.
Thank you, Mike. So a North Korean zoo has something you won't find anywhere else, a chimpanzee that likes to smoke.
So North Korean officials say the 19-year-old chimp named Azalea smokes about a pack a day. They insist she does not inhale the cigarettes, and the zoo trainer throws her a lighter, and she lights her own cigarettes. Now, of course, this is in North Korea, so who knows what's going on there? But it's a pretty interesting video. But that poor.
I'm going to be a Debbie Downer. Kids don't need to see that.
Yeah, that poor chimpanzee.
I know. We've got a lot more coming up on WKYT this morning. When we come back, we'll take a look at the amazing story of an Anderson County football player who had to overcome a rare condition to keep playing the game he loves. That story is coming up right after the break. But before we go to break, tonight's Powerball jackpot is $151 million, and Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot, $30 million. We'll be right back. Welcome back to WKYT this morning. So every Friday in the fall, high school football is usually the main attraction across the Commonwealth. But for one young man at Anderson County High School, he is lucky to be playing the sport that he loves. WKYT Brian Milam has the remarkable story of Logan Mann.
Many people in life are naturally born with certain skills. Others are acquired. So it is with Anderson County's Logan Mann. He is a long snapper for the Bearcats, and while it may not look or sound like the most attractive position on the football field, It is highly important.
You got to work on it every day, just continually get better. And I mean, it's an art, so you got to work on the mechanics and the little things to get better.
I'm glad he found a role that he could step into, and he excelled. He's one of the best long snappers in the state, and I'm so fortunate to have him. You know, punting, the snaps are always right there. He's the best, you know.
Logan oftentimes practices by himself, and when on the field, rarely gets hit. He is seldom noticed from the stands during a game, but his area of expertise is amazing. He has gone around the country learning this craft at numerous camps.
I take pride at it, go to camps, get better, and every day I'll be working at it, just mechanics and form, without a football, with a football, just do anything I can to get better.
But how Logan Mann learned this art is amazing and quite dramatic. It began when he was in 3rd grade.
He had played baseball and basketball up until 3rd grade and never had an issue. But when he put on the football helmet, he started complaining of headaches on the crown of his head.
The first thought was possible exercise-induced migraines, and he was treated for that. Fast forward 4 years to when Logan was in the 7th grade, and that's when the Mann family's life turned upside down.
In practice one day, it was about 100 on the field, and he went down in practice. We thought he'd had a heat stroke. So we got him in the locker room, chilled him real quick, got his pads off of him. Within 10 minutes, he seemed fine, but we went ahead and got him checked out. At that point, the neurologist wanted to do an MRI. They hadn't done one prior to that.
The MRI was followed by an angiogram, which discovered a rare disease called moyamoya.
None of us had ever heard of it. My general practitioner had never heard of it.
In Japanese, moyamoya means puff of smoke. In an MRI, the impression looks like just that, a puff of smoke in the brain.
I didn't have enough blood flow on the right side of my head, so they had to go in and graft a vein into my main vein, and it grows like tree roots. So it really helped the blood flow. And
moyamoya was discovered in Japan in the 1960s, and it affects less than 1/8 of 1% of people in the world. Remember when Logan was thought to have that heat stroke? He actually had a stroke. In fact, Logan had at least 2 strokes and possibly a 3rd. Surgery was performed at Boston Children's Hospital, where 4 titanium plates and 16 screws were inserted. After 1 year away from sports, Logan was given a clean bill of health and allowed to play once again. And he wanted to play football.
Do I really want my kid playing football? There's the coach in me that loves the game, and then there's the parent in me that steps back and realizes this is my child this time. But, you know, again, with a lot of discussion with the neurologist, he said that he's really at no more risk than any other football player is at this time because of the work that they've done.
It's emotional for me, but still I get to play the game I love, and that's all that matters.
Welcome back to WKYT this morning, and welcome back to reality. Temperatures are back down to where they should be for this time of year, if not a little bit cooler than that. As we get started this morning on the Defender Radar Network, we are seeing some leftover clouds from what we dealt with yesterday, but things are thinning out and drying out as well. As a result, temperatures have taken a big step back, starting out this morning in the mid to low 40s. Some spots in southern Kentucky along I-75 are some of the coldest out there, in the low 40s and upper 30s. It's nearly a 10-degree difference from where we were at this time yesterday, so be sure that you bring that jacket with you if you plan on heading outside early this morning. It's chilly out there. Sports is up next.
John Calipari opening up his 7th season in Lexington. The Wildcats preseason top 5 in the polls. And last night, the annual blue-white game from Rupp Arena. The white team in control early as freshman Sasha Kilea-Jones knocks down the jumper to put his team on top 23-19. Isaiah Briscoe then looking for an improved outside shot this season. And he's going to take it from beyond the arc, and the white team would have the 26-21 lead, but the blue team comes right back. Winion Gabriel strong inside, and that tied it at 26-all. The blue surges into the lead as Dominique Hawkins scores 8 straight points, including back-to-back threes. Look at him shoot. That put the blue team up 45-38. Then on the break, freshman De'Aaron Fox gets out for the dunk. 47-39, the blue led at the half, 57-50. Into the second half, Fox scores 7 quick points, including the follow slam. He had 31, and the Blue goes up 68-53. Briscoe would pour it on. The basket here and the foul, 77-66. He would finish with 39. The play of the night, though, belonged to Malik Monk as he brought down the house with the tomahawk slam, and the Blue goes ahead 79-66. From there, Monk proceeded to explode about a 360 as the Blue goes up 92-77, 26 on the night from Monk. And the Blue goes on to win it 110-94. Cal now can put all three of his guards together when the season begins. And the Cats will take the floor again next Sunday, October the 30th, a week from this Sunday, a 7 o'clock exhibition matchup with Clarion, John Calipari's alma mater. You'll see it on the SEC network. Well, John Cohen thought that he might get one. Gary Henderson did as well, but new UK baseball coach Nick Mingione will. And it comes, and he will get to oversee the construction of the new baseball stadium at UK. The school made that announcement yesterday that a new $49 million facility would be built beginning in February over off of Alumni Drive. The 2,400-seat stadium would also have grass berms, bringing the total capacity to 4,000 for regular season games. Construction is expected to be finished by the fall of 2018. Very exciting for the UK baseball program. And that'll do it for your morning sports. Have a great day.
Now at 6:30 on WKYT this morning, friends and family will be gathering today to celebrate the life of Trinity Gay. We'll have all the details on when and where you can go to pay your respects. Centerpoint in downtown Lexington has some new plans. Hear from Dudley Webb on when the renovations are finally expected to be done. And changes are on the way for UK scholarships. Find out the new way the university plans to decide on whether your child should get one. That's all coming up on WKYT this morning, Saturday.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. I'm Michelle Chamberlain. Thanks so much for joining us on this Saturday, October 22nd. We hope your morning's off to a great start so far. I will tell you it's going to be a chilly start this morning. Meteorologist Mike Linden is here with a look at your Saturday forecast. Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle. Well, if you had your windows cracked last night to get some of that fresh air in, you might be waking up really gripping those blankets tightly. It's cool as we get our morning started in the mid to low 40s. A few spots out there have fallen back into the upper 30s. Fort Knox being one of them at 37, and Williamsburg 39 degrees. This is cooler than where we should be normally for this time of year, and it's also cooler than where we were 24 hours ago to start off Friday morning. Most spots down about 10 or so degrees. So if you're heading out early this morning, if you're going to Keeneland today, or if you're going to Commonwealth Stadium for the football game, don't forget the jacket at home. And really whatever you need to keep yourself warm, because we are looking at cooler than normal temperatures sticking around through our Saturday. But coming up, I'll take you into the next few days and show you how temperatures balance out a little bit as we work our way into a brand new work week.
Thank you, Mike. Friends and family are coming together this morning to pay their respects to Trinity Gay. Trinity was shot and killed last Sunday morning at the Cookout on South Broadway here in Lexington. Today is her funeral. WKYT's Mike Byers live in Nicholasville with more details. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Michelle. In just a few hours, family and friends will gather here at Southland Christian Church in Nicholasville, where they will say their final goodbye to Trinity Gay. Now, a vigil was held earlier this week where hundreds gathered to honor the life of Trinity. An even bigger number of the lives she touched are expected today here at her funeral service. Trinity was tragically shot and killed last Sunday morning after two cars pulled up to the Cookout restaurant on South Broadway and started shooting at each other. Trinity, who is just 15 years old, was caught in the crossfire. Now here are the details for her funeral. Her visitation begins at 9 a.m. here at Southland Christian Church in Nicholasville. It will run for 3 hours with the funeral following immediately after at noon. Trinity will then be buried a few hours away in Russellville. Now if you're not familiar with the church, it is located on Harrodsburg Road here in Nicholasville, right next to Southland Christian School, in what will be a very emotional scene this morning. Live in Nicholasville, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Now, Trinity ran track at Lafayette High School, and last night Lafayette honored Trinity in its own special way before its football game. Both teams gathered for a moment of silence. Then balloons were released to pay tribute. Members of the Takes Creek cheerleading squad also stood in support. Friends say they just want people to know they're all in this together.
I know everything happens for a reason, and that was God's plan for us. And I just want everyone to be happy and just follow in her footsteps.
In a Facebook post, Trinity's father, Tyson Gay, says he wants to explore ways to mentor and support Lexington's youth here in the future. A Boyle County grand jury has indicted a 15-year-old girl for the murder of her stepmother. Jenna Oakley has been charged as an adult. Last month, police say she killed Rhonda Oakley at a Junction City home, then stole her car. Police say they later found Jenna and her boyfriend, Kenneth Nye, in New Mexico. Her father says he wants her to be punished.
You know, I have no remorse for whatever happens to Jenna. She deserves everything she gets.
Police in New Mexico say Nye tried to kill himself in jail and had been on life support. WDRB-TV reports police now say he has died. New plans are in the works for Centerpoint in downtown Lexington. New plans were filed Wednesday that include 2 hotels, an office tower, a restaurant, and a retail space. The office building will be at the corner of Limestone and Main Street with the apartments above it. Now, the 2 hotels will be a Marriott and a Residence Inn. The restaurant is still planned to be a Jeff Ruby Steakhouse. Developer Dudley Webb says even though the project has taken 8 years to get started, it is now finally ready to move forward.
We went through 5-6 years of recession. 2014, we had everything ready to go, and we're held up because the bonds couldn't be issued. So now that that's worked out, we can proceed, and that's what we're doing.
Now, Webb estimates the steakhouse and office building will be done by April of 2018. He says the hotels will be done in August of the same year. Now, the new plans still have to be approved by the Courthouse Area Design Review Board. We have some new information this morning on a person police are looking for in a counterfeit money scheme. The Whitley County Sheriff's Office is looking for this woman who police say is responsible for passing counterfeit $100 bills at 2 Whitley County businesses. Now, police say the phony bills showed up in Corbin, Williamsburg, and even the Sheriff's Department. The bills passed the marker test but did not have the plastic vertical strip that runs across new bills. A police officer is recovering after being injured during a chase in Laurel County. It happened yesterday morning on Rebecca Lane, just outside of London. Police arrested 29-year-old Christopher Gaines on multiple charges, including wanton endangerment of a police officer. Police say Gaines was threatening his former employer, and when police showed up, he then took off in his car. The high-speed chase ended with Gaines crashing into a barrier, but he then took off. That's when police officer Greg Turner hurt his shoulder and broke his hand.
He was trying to clear a ditch. Everything was wet and slick, and he lost his footing, fell on his left shoulder.
Police say an off-duty sheriff's deputy's personal car was also damaged in this chase. A week-long strike at 2 Jim Beam distilleries in Kentucky is now over. The United Food and Commercial Workers Union says Jim Beam workers approved a new contract offer yesterday, and they'll return to work on Monday. Union leaders say under the new agreement, Jim Beam agreed to hire more full-time workers, which is what the union wanted. The state has now reached a tentative agreement with the owner of an Estill County landfill where naturally occurring radioactive waste was dumped. The Energy and Environment Cabinet says the agreement will require Advanced Disposal Services to come up with a corrective action plan for its Blue Ridge landfill. Now, that includes addressing how the radioactive waste at the facility will be handled. A massive hack brought down some of the biggest websites in the United States, including Twitter. Andy Rose shows you what happened.
In what appears to be 3 separate attacks, popular U.S. websites experienced disrupted service Friday after hackers attempted to jam them up with traffic. Called a DDoS attack, hackers flood websites with so much traffic the sites cannot operate normally and users are unable to access them. Dyn, which manages website domains and routes internet traffic, said the attack started early this morning, mainly affecting people along the East Coast. But by the afternoon, Europe was reporting outages as well. Popular sites including Twitter, Amazon, Etsy, and Netflix all went down or experienced connectivity issues at some point during the day. And while many are back up and running, issues are still being reported by users. No person or group has taken responsibility for the attacks, and the White House says they're looking into it.
U.S. government agency that is responsible for monitoring our security in cyberspace and coordinating with the public and private sector to protect U.S. interest in cyberspace is monitoring the situation.
In an interesting twist, WikiLeaks, the site responsible for exposing some of Hillary Clinton's emails, sent a tweet today attempting to distance themselves from the attack. It says Mr. Assange is still alive and WikiLeaks is still publishing. We ask supporters to stop taking down the U.S. Internet. You proved your point. I'm Andy Rose reporting.
The University of Kentucky is changing the way it gives out scholarships to students. UK says starting next school year, it will focus more on students who need help paying for college. Right now, UK bases scholarships on grades and test scores. The university says their analysis shows students who had good grades but not enough money were leaving school. One out-of-state student says the changes make her uneasy.
I still have like above a 3.0 and I still am in need, but like to them I'm not in need because I don't have my parents make more than what in need is, so it's like just like really frustrating because it's like I'm getting the short end of the stick on both sides.
The university hopes the changes will get them to their goal of 70% of students graduating in 6 years and 90% coming back for year 2. The new plan will follow federal standards to find out if a student qualifies for more scholarship money based on financial need. Now let's take a look at what's going on today here in Central Kentucky. The UK football team is back in action tonight at Commonwealth Stadium against Mississippi State. The game starts at 7:30 and will be televised on the SEC network. But for all you tailgaters out there, SEC Network's pregame show, SEC Nation, will be live on UK's campus today. It will start at 10 o'clock this morning and run through noon at the William T. Young Library. Now, those who arrive early get a chance to win a free shirt and a chance to win tickets to the SEC Championship game. And if you can't choose between going to the tailgate party or Keeneland, you can do both. The shuttle between the stadium and the racetrack will be running this morning. The shuttle picks up every 15 minutes at the stadium, starting at 11 o'clock all the way through 6. It picks up at Keeneland every 15 minutes starting at 11:30 going until 6:40. And the best part is it only costs $1 each way. Today is the day to get rid of all those unused prescription pills or medication that you may have. It's the National Drug Take-Back Day across the country. Just bring your unused, unwanted, or outdated prescription pills to Lexington's MedFall event. That runs from 10 until 2 o'clock today. Now, things you can drop off include pills, vitamins, medicated ointments and lotions, and pet medication. You cannot bring any liquids, aerosol cans, or needles. Your time now is 6:41 on this Saturday morning. There's still plenty to come on WKYT this morning. Coming up, a boy tells his mother he needs her to pack 2 lunches for school every day. But they aren't for him. It's a touching story, and it's coming up after Mike's forecast.
It's chilly outside as we get our Saturday started, but temperatures are going to get back to normal. Coming up, I'll take you through the weekend and show you when we begin to warm up a little bit.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Mike Linden.
Welcome back to reality and welcome back to the fall. We started off the work week with temperatures quite summer-like in the mid-70s and a few spots getting into the low 80s. But now we are back to where we should be for this time of year, if not a little bit cooler than that. Starting out this morning on the Defender radar network, there are some clouds out there, but nothing incredibly thick like what we dealt with almost all day yesterday. That's all scooting to the east of us following a cold front toward the Atlantic coast, bringing with it not only the thick clouds but the rainfall as well. So behind this front here in Kentucky, we are beginning to dry out a little bit and as a result cool down as well. Temperatures this morning as you get started, boy, what a step back. The mid to low 40s, a few spots even into the upper 30s. Williamsburg 39 degrees, Fort Knox 37, but most of central, southern, and eastern Kentucky right on that 40-degree mark this morning. But now most spots sitting right around the mid 40s. Cool no matter the way you look at it, so you'll need to grab a jacket to get your morning started because as we head into the afternoon, it doesn't really warm up that much heading into the middle of our day today. Daytime highs making it back to the mid to high 50s under mostly sunny skies. Do your part to keep yourself comfortable on a day like today, because if you're heading to Commonwealth Stadium for the football game, look what happens at kickoff. This is 7:30 this evening. 50 degrees. You will most definitely need that extra layer, maybe a hat and maybe some gloves as well if you're the type that gets cool easily. You can always put them in your pocket if you don't need them. Later this evening, that drive home, boy, a chilly evening out ahead of us in the mid 40s. Moving into Sunday, though, things are actually looking pretty nice for us. Sunday, the best day of the bunch. Clear skies, a lot of sunshine, mild air takes us right back to normal in the mid to high 60s. But notice this cold front here. That's going to bring us some gusty winds as we work our way into the upcoming work week. Watch what happens. Notice the time here. This is 4 o'clock this afternoon. Breezy in the 15 or 20 mile per hour range. But as we head into your Sunday and into the late evening, that's when the wind gusts get up near about 30 miles per hour or so. That's going to knock the temperatures back a little bit as we head into the start of your work week, falling back into the mid 60s. But as far as any active weather goes, that's about it. Not dealing with rain, nor really any storm chances here the next few days. Things are looking really nice for us, especially on Sunday. Temperatures back to normal, sunny skies, a wonderful day to spend some time outside. It's today where you'll need that jacket to get started, and especially so if you're heading to Commonwealth for the game tonight. You're heading out to Keeneland this afternoon for some horse racing. Couldn't hurt to bring that light jacket with you as well. Michelle, as we get into the upcoming work week, though, that's where things begin to even out a little bit before the rain chances return later in the week.
And it's chilly, but that's perfect football weather.
It's normal for this time of year. I mean, we've just been so up and down that's kind of hard to really say this is normal for this time of year. But tomorrow is normal.
Okay, good to hear. So this is an inspiring story. A New Mexico boy is asking his mom to pack him 2 lunches for school every day. But that second lunch isn't for him. Instead, it's for a friend whose family's going through a tough time.
So his mom posted a video on Facebook that has gone viral telling their story. This is Josette Duran, and she says the boy she was helping feed would only eat a fruit cup every day at lunch. Well, that's because his mom lost her job and couldn't afford to pay for school lunches. But Duran says what the boy told her means much more than fixing an extra lunch.
I have friends, and I'm doing better in school, and you have a great son, and he is my best friend.
The boy's mother found out she tried to pay Duran back, but she would not take the money. After word got out, the volleyball team Duran coaches raised $400 to pay her back, but Duran kept paying it forward and used the money to pay off every single past due lunch account at the school. Now, not a single student owes any money for lunch.
That is amazing. And if we could all just pay it forward, right?
That's a very cool story to start your day.
Thanks so much for watching WKYT this morning. We have a lot more coming. When we come back, we'll take a look at your money.
Which 2 companies are cleaning up their act, and where in the world is Walmart delivering groceries? I'm Karina Mitchell with those stories coming up in your CBS Money Watch report.
Welcome back to WKYT this morning. 2 companies are cleaning up their act, and where in the world is Walmart delivering groceries? Karina Mitchell has the latest on your money.
Investors will wait to see if Wall Street can rally after a mixed close on Friday. The Dow slid 16 points while the Nasdaq gained 15. Vacuum cleaner makers Dyson and SharkNinja are ending a 2-year legal dispute where each accused the other of false advertising. Dyson, known for its upscale cleaners, and Massachusetts-based SharkNinja each claimed their products had better suction and cleaning capabilities than the other. And Walmart says it will pump $50 million into New Dada, China's largest online grocery business, and will offer a 2-hour delivery window there on groceries. The deal will increase the retailer's footprint in China. New Dada has more than 25 million customers and delivers to more than 300 cities. And the Canadian Space Agency has awarded a Montreal company an almost $2 million contract to advance technology on a smart shirt for astronauts. AstroSkin is a biomonitoring system designed to be worn to collect data on astronauts' vital signs, activity, and sleep quality. The shirt will get a test run on the International Space Station in 2018. And that's your Money Watch. For more, log on to CBSMoneyWatch.com. In New York, I'm Karina Mitchell.
Welcome back to WKYT this morning. Your time is 6:56, and there's a lot going on this Saturday morning here in Central Kentucky. Here's a look at some events that are taking place. The UK football team is back in action tonight at Commonwealth Stadium against Mississippi State. The game starts at 7:30 and will be televised on the SEC network. And for all you tailgaters out there, SEC Network's pregame show, SEC Nation, will be live on UK's campus. It will be starting at 10 o'clock this morning, running through noon at the William T. Young Library. Now, those who arrive early get a chance to win a free shirt and a chance to win tickets to the SEC Championship game. Not a bad win, huh?
Most definitely. I mean, today there's a lot of excitement, of course, around the football team, and we're all still buzzing off of that dunk last night by Malik Monk at the blue-white game. We were actually yelling here in the studio when we ran the highlights of it. But maybe for another reason you're yelling out a little bit is because you're chilly. It's cold out there as we get our morning started, with most spots falling back into the mid to low 40s. If you're heading to Commonwealth or the stadium this evening, bring that jacket with you. High temperatures only in the mid 50s today. Just like that.
Just like that, right? We'll be back with another hour of news, weather, and sports. See you then.